Hello, my fellow knights. Welcome to part 2 of 3 or 4, I can't remember. But we're getting back into it. And hopefully this headache goes away before we reach the end of the level. Because I got a very hard pounding headache. I think this is 3. No, this is 4. Okay, Q to go down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So it's part 2 of 4. And I'm coming back here for a special reason. I'm going to grind up some lives. Because this is the best level to actually grind up lives, actually. Collect the wampus. Get up to 99, you get a life. Yep. Now, whenever I came to YouTube, I wasn't expecting to get very popular. But my one YouTube channel I did have at the time reached its peak, and then try to go through an explanation of a certain video game that my character was in, but for whatever reason my brother decided to scrap that for me. Hey Aku. And try to find some positivity out of that, but sadly I can't. Ahoo! But yeah, last time we were talking, I was talking about the YouTube algorithm and how gamers are gonna find it hard for the next few days. I know I got it pretty rough whenever it came to doing the Assassin's Creed series. Yeah, the corporation that dug into that whole entire situation, I even had the music off. And I just kept getting slapped with copyright left and right, and I couldn't figure out why until recently. You didn't think I was going to go back and get that, did you? But no, until just recently, I just figured I'll go back and redo that whole entire series all over again and make sure there's no music at all in them. And then I just heard about this new algorithm change. I'm like, nobody is going to like this one bit. I mean, look at YouTube's history. YouTube has a very bad history with algorithm changes. Why isn't this working anymore? Okay. There we go. Condor. And this last one apparently took the cake because gamers are not going to be the center of attention. I don't know what started it, but the gamer platform is pretty much losing this race. And I can't even explain how much I want to blame Jack Black for that, because he's gotten over 400 million subs and not one video about a straight up title that he's playing. And I don't mind his lifestyle. In fact, I don't really care for it all that much. It's just the fact that somebody creates a YouTube channel based on gaming and there's no gaming to be had in the channel. Except for pinball. I mean, I've seen him play pinball a few times. That's not really gaming. Not to me anyways. I mean, I'd play pinball on my computer every once in a while. But I'm not to a point where it's like addicting or anything. And I still can't get that jump. So I don't know how anybody does that. But anyway. Yeah, he creates a channel for gaming and doesn't do much of gaming. He doesn't even have a straight up title for it. But I'm looking at that as a what do you call that? I hate to be one of those people that keep forgetting the simplest things. Crap, what was it? What was it? I forgot what it was now. I had it at the tip of my tongue and then I lost a thought or train of thought. So it's kind of up there, but it's not there anymore. And I hate that. I really do. Oh. There you go. An example. I was using that as an example. If you're going to make some changes, you're going to have to be dedicated to it and be well known about what you're doing and how you're handling it. At least for me anyway, I know how to do things, just the fact of getting a team together to help me out with the project. And I had a few people who lent me a hand before, but somewhat turned around and backed out of the whole entire deal. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, but yeah. It tends to happen a lot, but not so much for those who are already in the popular domain of the channel or the platform, such as the Game Grumps, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, so on and so forth. And I won't even touch the subject of PewDiePie because that's a different story altogether. But yeah, there's like a lot of platforming changes that hasn't even made the list. And I mean, like, say for example, Nintendo wanted to announce their big achievement with their new system. And their new system includes an agreement, to say the least. If somebody wanted to play Nintendo games on YouTube anymore, they would have to leave out the cursing and the swearing, because that's part of the agreement, right? Well, needless to say, half the population on YouTube don't get a copyright strike or a user agreement ban or something like that. I don't know what it's officially called, but once again, going off of examples. But yeah. But whenever it comes down to playing video games that have like music already built into it. Not that it's even worth copyright, but fair use only. I mean, some developers do that, like people for Crash Bandicoot and Subnautica, Spyro the Dragon, perhaps. I can't be too sure on that. Heck, even Slime Rancher. Devs like that. Heck, even Warframe did it, I believe. But off topic. They don't care for copyright music. I mean, you can use their music anytime you can because it's already in the system and you're pretty much playing it for fair use. And there's not really much you can do about removing it except for muting it, but then again, that's a choice. Sometimes people end up forgetting and they get a copyright claim, and then they turn around and have to either go back through the feed and somehow mute the music and leave the audio from the game and the moderator intact and go by it that way. But for me, it was kind of hard to do something like that constantly because someone in the YouTube community found some errors that involved, I don't know, dark age music from, you know, the age of the first Assassins or something, I don't know. But around the time Ezio Auditore was roaming around the I want to say farce, but that's not it. It was like some sort of festivities, and there's like a lot of music playing in the background. I got a copyright claim for that. So each time that happens and I'm not in control of it, I would say that would be in fair use because that's in no way, shape, or form licensed to be claimed, and being that it's a part of the game, it should be considered fair use. I mean, especially if it's the type of music that can't be muted. And yet I get slapped with a copyright claim. And it's like, how is that even possible? Does Google even know the meaning of fair use? Because every time I turn around and I try to, what's the word for that? Dispute it. They keep, or sometimes they turn around and keep telling me it's non-disputable, and it has to be removed. So I'd go back through my clips and I'd delete the clip, and for the same video, the claim stands. I'm like, what is the deal? There is no music at all in this clip. They'll just continue to say it's got to be taken down. I'm like, fine, I'll just take down the whole playlist. Maybe that'll satisfy whoever it is that's claiming these videos. Because obviously, I'm not the one who's doing it. And I now have like, what is it? 6 Assassin's Creed games now. Desmond's first 3. Altair's first. And I don't know who did Unity. Because that's a main mystery to me. But yeah. For those that didn't know, I was going off on the naming brand of the verse against the Assassins, because these people have like sleeping assassins in the quarters inside the Animus, awaiting to see where the last few pieces of Eden were. And in that recollection, I don't know who was behind, what was it? Unity. That's it. And whenever I got Unity after the Notre Dame incident, I played it for a while and I found some bugs that I ended up reporting. And they turned around and fixed it a couple of days later. Or not even a day later, depending on how big the bug was. But, yeah, that turned around and ended up happening, so now we're working on figuring out if or when possible I'm going to be able to do the next Assassin's Creed walkthrough, because I was getting so close to finishing Connor's story before I could get to 4. And I came back to find out that I was unable to finish it because of these claims. And it was so ridiculous that it wasn't funny. So I have no idea when I'll be able to get back to that, if I'm able to get back to that at all. So that's something to look forward to. And by any mention necessary to what's going on with my channel, I've thought of another name to call the channel, but in order to do that, I'm going to need 4 other people with me to do some walkthroughs. But guess what? I'm running short on people. And it's kind of hard to find people my age or 10 years younger because, yeah, most of the people that, view my videos anymore is younger. Younger than 18, rather. Because of my whole DMO shindig of walkthroughs. And I keep telling people I was done with DMO because DMO hasn't been coming up with events useful to me. Because I'm usually having to go by doing them by myself because no one wants to help me anymore. And that being said, there's not really much I can do about that, really. I mean, DMO is its own entity. Game King did have events to where it's like, if you get a certain amount of this item or that item, you can get these unlimited items in return if you're lucky. And I was like, I'm never lucky. And 6 other people have reported that they've gotten the item that I didn't even get in the first place. And I was like, being the only one in my group that actually would work hard on getting these things done in the first place and have nothing to show for it just makes me feel completely bad. I mean, I'm terrible at farming on my own. And I tried telling people that, and the one person that understood that was pretty much Solix. And I don't think Solix wants to play anymore, to be honest with you. I haven't seen him for over 8 months. So my Steam tells me anyway. And I was trying to remedy the cause of permanently deleting DMO from my library and just waiting for Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, but I got too anxious. I keep going back. I was like, this is giving me a headache. I'm just fighting with myself over this whole entire ordeal, and it's getting me nowhere. And yet, still till this very day, since Steam got on, or since DMO got on Steam, I should say, not the other way around, a new server has been brought up, which was the Omnimon server. Everyone calls Omegamon. To me, I only go by the English names, I don't really care. But, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, whoops, did I just drop my tea? Hold on a minute. Nope, it's right here. Tea is great. Alright, where was I? Oh yeah. Ever since the server started, everyone's been jacking up their prices to like a high number. And the one thing that we got after Solix left was some new Digimon with little more Jogresses, and we now have at least 3 in total Omnimon. 3. We only need 1. To which case that 1 can have like multiple forms, the S form and its X form. And I couldn't stress that enough because Game King devs have the ability to augment evolution trees to where you can use whichever Omnimon you wish after Omnimon was, digivolved. And therefore you could have either Omnimon S or Omnimon X. And at this point, there's like, I believe a black Gabumon and a black Agumon that go into Alter. I think it's Alter. I'm not completely sure about it anymore. I mean, there's way too many Omnimons in DMO anymore. And I hate to say it, but it's gone completely out of control. And I don't know how it started or where it ends, but yeah. At least now I feel better that Imperial Dramon now has a Jogress. Because that's the one thing that I asked about whenever I first started the game is, will Vmon be able to Jogress with Wormmon, and will he still have all of his armor evolutions? Well, to put it frankly, they split the evolutions between the 2 trees. X-Vmon, that goes into Paladin Burst Mode. Or Paladin's Burst Mode, not Jogress, but Burst Mode. He gets the Egg of Friendship. And I'm going off by the official evolutions here, and I'm not going by the comic books, because I've never read them. So forgive me if I leave them out. Oh, there we go. Well, if you're not going to spin off, I'm just going to flatten you. There we go. Now, where was I? Yeah. And Vidramon, who goes into All Force Vidra, has the Egg of Courage and the Egg of Miracles. So obviously he goes into Flamedramon and what was it? Flamedramon and Magnamon. And I've had Magnamon for a while, but he's been a 3x5 ever since I hatched him, and I've tried to make him grow, but I could never get enough people to help me out with it. I mean, there's a process right now to where I can actually use an easygoing hand to get the vouchers for it. But even at that, people did not want to side with a 3x5, which is why I pretty much left the Lucemon server. So anyone from the Lucemon server missed me, too bad. I'm not going back. And as far as I've noticed, the Lucemon server is more buggier than whenever I left it, because the data center entrance portal got deformed and it was never fixed. Drop locations got misplaced, was never fixed. And every time they go in and try to change these bugs, more and more problems keep popping up. And it's like, Lucemon server got so messed up in so many ways that the Game King couldn't even fix it, because whatever Joymax did to it, it's unrepairable. And I think Lucemon server is going to end up like Seraphimon server. Gone. Yes, it's gone. For the people that do the Seraphimon server currently, can't understand why that they don't have new events coming out. It's because their character, or the characters that they've previously created for that said server, is keeping it visible into the server list. And they don't understand that. And it's like trying to explain this to a toddler, but it's very hard to explain at times because people aren't really tech savvy, and they're having a hard time understanding what coding really is. And they won't go to college to take classes for that, because half of these kids that are playing DMO right now are coming out of high school. And their only reason for playing it is not only nostalgia, but it has something more of a deeper meaning, I guess. I have no idea, but whatever their reason is, all I see that's amping up the Terra prices is bots, bots, bots. We've had this problem in the Lucemon server. I don't know if all the servers are having this issue, but there's got to be a way that Game King's devs can have a way to detect this situation and have them removed other than using macros, because macros is not just banning people, but for whatever reason, the users that got banned removed permanently, I guess. I don't even know how that works. But that's what I was hearing people talk about recently. And I didn't think that was right, because they got their story all mixed up or whatever, but it's like half the users in that center use a link in the local chats, shout chats, and so many chats they're on, and they get caught by a dev, they get a permanent ban. And that's understandable, because having to try and hack other people's accounts from the Game King launcher rather than the Steam launcher itself, because Steam can't be hacked, especially when there's safeguards in place. I mean, I could go back and try to show you, but guaranteed it's very safe, because people on Steam uses one of two things. One, the what do you call it? The actually, what is it called? Hold on a second. Here it is. No, you just had it up there. Give it to me. Steam Guard, that's it. And I don't use Steam Guard. The second of the two is email. And to access my account, if another computer tries to access my email account, my phone will notify me and they will be permanently removed from the service. I was allowed to do that, apparently. Well, I couldn't do that. Oh. Thank God I didn't lose Aku. Get out of here, Condor. But yeah, as soon as you log into DMO through Steam, you don't have to worry about passwords or PIN numbers. Why? I don't like this part of the level. Not anymore. I mean, I thought I had it figured out, but my lack of concentration due to this discussion is very distracting. Yeah. I don't know, where was I? So yeah, Steam is going to be very hard to hack. And people use these bots to farm hard in whatever location possible. And when Game King raised the numbers of Digimon in that said location just to get the numbers up, possibly made a bad decision due to the fact that the surrounding area spawns faster than any other area from before. And what I mean by that is the fact that you got like not only 15 but 20 of the same Digimon in that local area to farm from. And if they're hunting for a certain resource in that said area, then that bot's going to go at it for hours. And the only way you can break that bot from working that hard is to cut it off from its resource for a couple of minutes and then it'll shut down. But due to the fact that it's on that resource pretty much next to its programming, that resource is going to be farmable, and this bot is going to be undetectable, because every time Game King tries to set macro protection up in a different way, the people who programmed Blue Eye keeps up with the programming and tries to offend it somehow, or defend it somehow. And then in my opinion, I think that is A, wrong, and B, very cheeky. Because we have this idea what DMO market should be instead of what it is, and the game itself is pretty much breaking because of it. And for me, I keep telling people that I talked to about this earlier that for me, at least, DMO had recently died because of this whole ordeal. Excuse me, hiccups. 1 second. And, excuse me. I tried to remedy that in so many ways and tried to defend Game King for their choices, but due to the lack of confidence in their department of programmers for, you know, trying to figure this all out. I mean, I could probably come up with a billion of ideas, but I can't put it to fingertips because I don't know how to code. But I understand it takes hours to make one program work. And other people outside the devs community don't seem to understand that and can't understand how long it would take for it to go right. It's like I said, once they fix something, another problem pops up, and that was back in the Lucimon server. But they have that server all messed up. All messed up. It's like I said, if Lucimon server ends up like the Seraphimon server, Omnimon's going to be the new Lucimon server. I can guarantee it. Then all the Demon Lords will turn into Royal Knights, and we're going to have like a situation on our hands to where it's like, great, new servers, new accounts to be created, and so on and so forth. It's like, what? Wait a minute. Why would you want to create a new account? I mean, I've been trying to sit here and talk to the devs and getting them to understand that you do not need to create a new account every time something bad happens. But then I thought about it, and the more I thought about it, the more it made sense, because Warframe didn't have this issue. Warframe took a risk and they landed it. DMO is not taking that risk because they're afraid that they're not going to land it. And seeing how they program things so far, I can see why they're not so confident. Because not only is it a free-to-play MMO, but they're afraid to lose users in the whole ordeal too. And it's kind of sad how that works, because most of their drops that they're using so far aren't resources, but the items themselves at times. And yeah, you're going to need resources to craft some materials and stuff, but in DMO, crafting's not really a thing. And DMO's not into the crafting situation. At least, that's how they explain themselves, at least. But for the time being, I've been trying so hard to get them to understand how this game should work, if they wanted to bring in more customers. But I keep coming up empty-handed because no one wants to take a leap of faith. And it's kind of hard to do that when A, you don't have the money to do so, and B, not have a strategy lined up for the correct correspondence. Like, they don't have a sponsorship, number one. The only people that can talk for them is pretty much Bandai themselves. And this is the reason why Digimon games are so out of control, is because in the list of everything to come, if they try to come out with a full version, like a game kind of like Cyber Sleuth in a way, and they try to make it as compact as DMO, the memory of that game is going to run out of so much space as is because we're working on limited resources, limited funding, and so on and so forth. And I just messed that up. And the coding process itself is taking a lot of time because it's a lot to figure out, because they gotta debug the system, they have to copy a backup file in case something went wrong, and then they have to reinsert a certain code all over again just to make sure it's okay to work or okay to function. And then they have to go back and check those files and see if everything's running okay, or as smooth as need be, if not even better. But yeah, and it's like they can't change the platform so much as to get the characters to be 100% customizable, or have it to where it's like the game can fully make a character jump, run, do acrobatics or whatever. And it's like, those things right now don't exist in the game, even though you see it in animation at times, but it's pretty much not going to happen in DMO. I can just say that up front right now, because it's not going to happen in DMO. Ooh! I did it! I got across it, no problem. Sweet! I finally got it right. Let's see if I can do it again. Nope, I failed. I got lucky with that last one. I don't even know how I even managed that. But anyway, we're at the end here, so how many lives do we have? And yeah, as far as that goes, that's completely the only thing that's stopping me from playing DMO right now, is the lack of ideas, the terrible events, and the fact that I get no help at all. I mean, people are asking me to help them with their Omnimon Joker's quest, and I said I don't even have the fourth floor open yet. Technically, there are only 4 floors and so many rooms, and they are requesting my help. That's the only way I can help, is if I can get help myself. The only team that I have active right now is Alphamon, 2 of my Imperial Dramon Paladins, and that's it. I was going to run my Examon / Omnimon Joker's quests, and then try to find a way to go back and do my Omnimon Joker's quest for recording, but nobody would help me with it. I mean, I was lucky enough to have that one dude come and help me with the Imperial Dramon Joker's quest. To which, yeah, I understand that he can only get me a random egg at a certain point in time, and then he even helped me get like 2 of the items needed to help them do or finish the quest and stuff. But other than that, it's kind of like yeah, busy bee. Wormon, whenever I hatched the eggs, Wormon and Vmon were both up 3x5s. The event that came out after I got the Joker's set gave me a 3x5. No, not 3x5. Whoops, I forgot I didn't have Aku with me. Now I have Aku with me. After I got the 3x5s hatched, an event came out where I hatched a 4x5 Wormmon, and I was hoping to get like a 4x5 Vmon to sort the size out a bit. But now that I've seen that we can get growth fruit from the arena, I wasn't too worried about it. And I was trying to get a team pulled together to do the arena stuff, but for whatever reason, and I can guarantee you this 100%, no one would come back. Because I can go on there right now and show you how long it's been since they were last seen online. And it'll tell you, some of them were off longer than a year. And due to the fact that I had some characters built up over the idea of having extra storage spaces, I mean, that was pretty much useful after I found out what DMO did with the character-to-character transfer. As long as it wasn't character bound, it could be transferred to another character. Get that? And for the Steam users, I'm going to have to point something out to you that you need to understand. The reason why the Steam community does not do non-character bound shop items anymore is because of those of you that messed it up. I mean, you would buy something off the market and try to sell it and then say that they didn't get it, and when for a fact that they know that you did because it's on the record, and try to get your money back is completely redonkulous. I mean, all of your movements is being recorded. You should have known this by now. Oh, there we go. Well, that didn't work. Nope, almost. And we're at the finish line. So yeah. What was I gonna say now? Yeah, that whole entire buying things from the cash shop and all of it being character bound due to being a Steam client is a problem. Because of those asking for like a refund. Because they go back, sell the item for Terras, and then turn around and try to ask for a refund. Those actions were recorded, reported, and dumped due to the fact that the Steam community treated the idea of being on Steam so badly that they did not remove the game, but removed the permission to do such things ever again. They found ways to handle that problem pretty quickly and pretty drastically, which messed things up for people like me. Yes, I said that correctly. People like me. Understand this. People on Steam don't use crowns, don't use silk, don't use anything involving the Game King launchers. What is the word for that? Oh, that wasn't a turtle, that was an armadillo, I forgot. The Steam, or not the Steam, the Game King community launcher. Because when dealing with Steam, you just launch the game and you're already in the game. So Simple as that. So, based off of your Steam wallet, that's all you go on. They've completely connected DMO to Steam. And it's cross-platform too, because if you're not on the Game King community launcher and you're on the Steam launcher, you can communicate with the people on the Game King community launcher, which is awesome because you can make new friends and have them help you out with that kind of stuff. But you can't ask them to buy you items and expect a refund. It's not how it works. In fact, that's why Game King killed the connection between the non-character bound items. Because Steam users messed that up. Past this topic, they actually fixed the Steam card situation. I went back and reported it about 6 months ago. I think it was about 6 months ago. And they just recently fixed it. Because I had to turn around and remove DMO permanently from my library. And after I was done, I went back and I realized the Steam cards were fixed. I mean, they were all completely there. And the wallpaper that came with them. And I was like, awesome. Now I'm going to just sell them. And the one person that responded to those posts wants me to sell it to them. I said, great. As long as you have the change for it. Because you can't sell anything at, like, above $1. For instance, you can't sell it for $5, you can't sell it for $10, $20, anything like that, because that's pretty much illegal. I'm dealing with chump change. And I don't mind. Because every little counts. And I'm trying to get to a point where it's like, I need to get more backgrounds for my profile. And I got the one for Crash Bandicoot, but it wasn't the one I was expecting to have. Not at all, to say the least. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Thanks, Aku. And we're home free. So now you understand why I don't play DMO anymore. Or at least not publicly. To where I have to stream it or record it or anything online. I was planning on doing it, but not enough people came to me asking if they needed the help or not. Because, like I said, if I'm going to help someone out, I'm going to need some help in return. Because this is a back and forth community, not a one-way thing where I help you and I get nothing in return. That's not how it works. Everybody knows this by now. And I paid it forward whenever I got the Imperial Dramon. Jogris. The guy who sent me that, I helped him in the process of... Whoops, I don't want to delete that now. I wanted to override it. I helped him with his Jogris quest for 2 straight days. And we spent one day, completely one day, on mine, as I was recording it. And you can go back and check that out on the playlist of the website. I believe it's on the website, the homepage of it at least. Yeah, I have a list of 1 Joker's quest finished, I want to get the rest of them finished, and if they want me to play it again, they're going to have to help me out. So, in due time, this time around, I'm King Willix. We're playing Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back, and well, not part 2. Part 2 of level 4. I think it was 4. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, part 2 of 4. Actually, this isn't part 2. I'm just going to level this grinding. This is just grinding. Part 2 coming up very shortly. Peace out.